Alrighty, in this video just showing off some gameplay on Nightmare with Bardin using a two-handed hammer and a handgun. One of the more popular setups, the other one probably being a axe and shield and sniper or handgun, whatever you want to call it. Handgun is especially good for killing specials. It's one of the best guns for killing specials. Is one of the reasons why a lot of folks like you to bring a handgun if you're playing either the Empire Soldier or Bardin, the Dwarven Ranger. I really like the Drake fires. They're a lot of fun, and with heal on hit, they're a good way to refill up your health on a regular basis, as the right click hits a large number of targets and does not hurt your teammates. But unless you have somebody else on your team who's really good at killing specials, it's probably better for the team to bring a handgun. Alright, so I already have a video up on the two-handed hammer, but I'll just kind of talk about it a little bit more in this video. I've gotten a little bit better with it actually since the last video I made, and it's a pretty minor thing. So some folks aren't into animation canceling. The fastest way to swing this hammer with your regular attacks is to do a regular attack, switch to your secondary, then switch back to your primary quickly, and cancel the kind of recovery portion of the animation for swinging it. Lets you hit a lot faster, which is good for single target DPS, as it does only hit one target. Something that's a little bit easier to do, and when you don't need a macro or anything like that to do well, or good APM, is to simply block right after your left click, your single target hit lands. I'll talk about that again more when you see me doing it a bit more often. But most of the time, you're going to want to be using the charged attacks on this weapon. They only damage the first two targets hit. This is a big thread on Reddit right now, if anyone's curious for some numbers. I believe the damage numbers are 5 to the first target, 3.5 to the second target, plus 1 to either of those damage numbers if they are headshots, and 0 damage to everything else, as in you can only kill a maximum of 2 rats per swing. But the nice thing about it is I don't believe it actually has a target limit, and even though you're doing 0 damage to the other rats, as you just saw there, you knock everybody way the hell over. I love the ragdoll effects. One of my favorite things about this weapon is when you smack somebody, they just go flying. It's like playing cricket with the vermin here. Yep, so right there you saw me do left click, headshot hit, and then block really quick to cancel the animation so that I could get my movement speed back. It's another important note actually, is that animation canceling not only increases the rate at which you can swing it, but also lets you start moving normal speed faster. Because normally if you just swing the hammer back to back, just left click, left click, left click, it slows you down. You can't run very fast. Whereas if you left click, do your attack, and as soon as the attack hits, you just bring up your block. Right there you saw me. I was able to start walking faster so that I could close the distance on the rat again, since I missed my first swing. Let's see what's going on here. Now, with the charged attack on this, you'll see me doing this a lot. Notice I walk backwards a little bit as I am charging the attack, and then as I swing I walk forwards. It's because the swing on this weapon actually has a lunge to it, so that when you swing the hammer, you lunge in whatever direction you are currently trying to move, which could be nowhere if you're not moving at all, but you can use it to lunge backwards, so it's actually good when you're running away from vermin to do the charge attack and maybe knock a couple of them off your back. as you cannot outrun the vermin. They are faster than you. Just waiting up for my team here. So, something you want to get good at, so you can keep spinning around all the time, but pay attention to sound. It's so important in this game. Like, I heard those rats. I was looking behind me, trying to make sure there's nothing behind me, but then I heard the rats coming from the opposite direction. Don't just turn and look. Your first reaction whenever you hear a rat in a direction you're not looking is to block, because you block in 360 degrees. So if you were going to get hit in the back, you will block that attack even if you're not facing the rats. So reactionary blocks, there's never a bad time to block, basically. Oh, Clubbedeer there, that's fun. So, see, I'll just do my little pushes once in a while. Save that guy, push, just in case. The push is also 360 degrees, by the way. It pushes things that are behind you. Okay. There you saw me back up out of that rat's range. That's another thing, is that there is a bit of time between your attacks, even when you're chaining them nice and fast like this. I think something that the backing up does for you is a lot of the times the rats will be hitting you, or trying to hit where you were standing, if you were standing still. But if you move backwards even a little bit, most of the time you will outrange them and they will miss their attacks. Heal. Oh, shoot. That goes off by himself again. I think he complains that, yeah, I guess we didn't have that tome.
No, we don't.
We did not look at that bottom. We only got one too. That guy's getting wrecked. But yeah, so you can one-shot a gutter runner with a body shot using the handgun. You can one-shot a rattling gunner with a body shot. This is all on Nightmare, by the way, and my handgun is an orange handgun. Mastercrafted is definitely something you want. See right there, I thought that was just one rat, so I took a swing with my overhand smash just to kill him really fast, but then I noticed by paying attention there that there was actually two rats stacked on top of each other because their heads were in different places. So I knew that I definitely had to block as soon as I was done with my swing there to avoid taking damage. You're a fat dwarf. Thank you.
No giving up now.
Alright, gates down. You can also one-shot those with a body shot on Nightmare. So the handgun, excellent for killing specials. There's another one down. Now, with the storm vermin, if they're damaged a little bit, you can kill them with a body shot, but a body shot will not one-hit a storm vermin on Nightmare with a legendary handgun. A headshot will, but a body shot and a single hit from your hammer will also kill them. The hammer, as it does overhead hits, tends to get headshots, so if you are fighting a storm vermin up close, you miss your headshots and maybe you just hit him in the body, one smack from your hammer will take care of that storm vermin's his remaining health. Bop. So you saw I was moving slow there for a second. That's because I didn't bring up my block, which also isn't full speed. Animation canceling would be the only way to go full speed right away. Oh, I missed that guy twice. Failure. Kind of spazzy animations in this game. It does make you miss shots once in a while, but it's hard to predict sometimes exactly where their hitbox is going to be. Especially on Globadiers, man. I can't figure out their headshot hitbox. Must be a lot lower than I tend to aim. Let's do a quick 360 check. Always checking behind you, head on a swivel and all that. Always good idea. Check your corners. Blocked. Oh, there's another one though. Block. Reset my move speed. Alright, and come back and get the grim. Yep, as I mentioned there, what they're doing is checking for the rat ogre to see if he spawns before we get the grimoire. He can spawn inside the house too, but I mean, at some point you gotta turn around and get it. That's the spot that most people will run to. Alright, keep an eye out for the gutter runner. I don't know what the heck that guy's shooting at. The moon. Boom. Gotta run her down. Now these guys go all the way around. You can actually jump up and grab that tome or the grimoire. If you or anybody with the dwarf is not tall enough. Anyone else can actually jump and just grab it through the floor. There goes the witch hunter going off again.
As long as you don't die.
Yep. In case you didn't catch that, I said you win if you don't die. For those that don't know, when you're holding a grimoire, you cannot pick up a potion anymore. It's permanent in that slot. You can't swap it out like you can swap a tome out for a healing item. The only way to get rid of it is to select it and then just left click and throw it. It will just evaporate on the ground, so that's a one-time deal. If you pick up a grim and then you throw it, it is gone. You can't get it anymore. And most of the time, your team will be really pissed at you, unless the point of throwing the grim was to get some of your health back. I think here the soldier starts to run off because he wants to keep his kill streak going or whatever. Tends to be a mistake. The rats will come to you. You don't need to go chasing them. Yep, there he goes. I believe he ends up dying at the end of this, or at least falling to the ground, I guess, before I go pick him up. I'm just watching him like, yep, he's doing fine right now, and then, oh, there he got hit, watching his health bar. Oh, he got hit again, he got hit twice more, again. He's having a little trouble by himself out here in the open, where he can get surrounded. Oh, and there he gets hit again. Should have just stayed at the choke point. So, once again, lessons to be learned. As soon as I started to see him take damage, that's why I actually hung back instead of going up with the other two, because I didn't want him to be by himself. And once again, I don't know what he's doing back there, but I guess I get a little tired of his stuff and decide to just go forward, because, like I said, I'm tired of it. Like, whatever, I'm not going to sit back there for days. There we go. I'll drop off my health for someone. I was checking behind myself there to make sure there's nobody down the bottom. Another thing you've noticed there, it's not quite full speed, but if you continuously swing the hammer while walking forward, the lunges actually keep you almost at full walking speed, so you can just charge along and have a good time, killing shit in front of you. If you repeatedly time fast charge attacks, you can just catch up. Right there, I backed up to avoid the damage. Alright. That block. smacked by that Hagbane. That hurts on Nightmare, folks. You bring a Hagbane, not necessarily a bad bow. It's really good for the Ogre in particular. That's why a lot of people like bringing it if they play Waywatcher. But the DOT does significantly more damage than just a regular arrow would if you happen to hit a teammate. So just be extra careful if you're using a Hagbane bow. Same thing goes with any of these multi-projectile weapons. A shotgun such as the Grudge Raker for the Dwarf, the Blunderbuss for the Empire Soldier, or if you're playing the Witch Hunter, if you happen to be using a repeater, if you right click and charge that, it spins the barrels and you fire your entire clip at once. I believe that can down somebody from full health if you hit somebody with all the pellets. So be aware of that. Alright, hanging out, make sure my teammates cover. Yep, we're all there. Occasionally there is a rat in there, so have your melee weapon ready to block or kill, as the case may be, depending on their attack animation. Fail shot. Alright. In this part here, we're going to get to see a good demonstration of the crowd control power of the hammer. Now, the two-handed axe, that thing does a ton of damage. It hits a lot more than 2 targets. I believe it does damage to 4 targets, but the problem is that's its target limit. So if there's more than 4 rats that you're trying to hit, then you'll kill those 4, depending on your difficulty and level of your weapon. But if there's more than that, you won't stagger them, which means you are likely to get hit. So if you're trying to round out our team here, as you can see, we got Crew over there with his sword. The sword also hits more targets with damage than the hammer does. But when you're trying to round out our team, you want to make sure at least one person has a good crowd control weapon. I prefer the two-handed hammer, but the axe and shield is not very far behind it. It's very good for crowd control. It just doesn't do quite as much damage as the hammer does to things like storm vermin and the like. So that's why I choose the two-handed hammer in most situations, because it has really good crowd control. Not quite as good as the shield, but good. And it has the benefit of being able to melee storm vermin. The charged attack on it, even if you hit a body shot, will hit a storm vermin hard enough to stagger him no matter what animation state he's in. There are some weapons that can chain stagger a storm vermin. In fact, a shield can as well. The issue is if the storm vermin's already doing its attack animation, the shield will not break that attack animation when you hit him. Therefore, he will continue his swing and probably still hit you or whoever he was trying to hit. Whereas with the two-handed hammer, when you hit them, even if they're in their attack animation, that right there, you see how I staggered him? That will happen every time, without fail, to a single storm vermin that you hit with your hammer. Now, if there's more than one storm vermin, it does actually stop your swing, so you won't be able to stagger 2 storm vermin with one swing. But you'll be able to stagger at least 1. And like I said, if you do the stagger and then you just do a quick left click, it does a headshot, which does a fair bit of damage to them. Depending on how much damage they have, you might actually kill them with that combo by itself if you have teammates that have already hit him. And the charge attack does do damage to them on the stagger, just not as much as the overhead smash. So you can kill them eventually just by repeatedly charge attacking them and keeping them staggered. Here I am, back and forth. Oh, I didn't see those guys on the left, so back, forward, back, forward, back, forward. Just get yourself into a little rhythm. Keep swinging. Once you get more comfortable, try and aim for heads, because it'll do more damage. Just a covering bomb there. You could save for the end here too if you just want a stat pad. Chuck a bomb up there, kill a bunch of rats. Make yourself feel good. Notice how I'm holding block. It's because there can be rats right there at the bottom of that, including behind you. Most of the time they spawn to the front right, but they have actually spawned behind me before and I've been stabbed in the back as soon as I get down. So it's a good idea to hold block as you're falling there on the platform. Oh, let's see what kind of loot I got for this run. I don't remember. Maybe I even got something worth a darn. Ooh, an orange trinket. Oh, I remember what this was. I had my hopes up, but it's a piece of crap. Absolute garbage. Hooray! 90% less damage from pack masters who don't do any freaking damage anyway. It's all the rats that hit you while he's dragging you that do the damage. That trinket is a complete joke. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the gameplay. Here's the stats for people that like to look at stats. Cheers. Until next time.